Greetings, dear hearts. How are you today? It's Ms.D here. Believe it or not, I'm in the bed. If you're interested in seeing what's Ms.D doing in the bed, stay, continue to watch and I'll get you up to date. Cool. So if you're still here, you decided to see what's going on with Miss D. Well, gotta tell you, dear hearts, I am in the end part of week 4 of my daughter passing away and me trying to move through the cycle of grief and loss. I really thought I was in a real good space. I tried to go to work this week. I went to work on Monday, and I got to tell you, when you're going through grief and loss, you take care of yourself. Other people will not take care of you. You have to take care of yourself. I really kind of wanted it to be a slow re-entry into work, but it ended up being thrown right back into the fire. I work in a community agency where we do mental health. We have an education center. We have a family center. I work in the counseling department. I'm a supervisor there. Have a team of people that I work with. Well, I thought I was ready to go back to work, and I did go. From the time I opened the door, walked in the door, of course, people were greeting me and giving their condolences, and I kind of expected some of that, so I was okay. But my real plan was to get to my office, have the door shut, kind of catch up on emails, kind of talk to my team a little bit, and just ease back in. Well, that wasn't the plan. Actually, that morning I had called my supervisor to tell her that I really wasn't feeling quite sure coming. Maybe I should start on Tuesday, not on a Monday. I was feeling a little nervous. I didn't, but some kind of way in that conversation, she talked so much about the things that are going on and mandatory this and mandatory that, till I said, okay, I'm coming in. So I get there and I meet people. They're greeting me at the door. They're giving their condolence. I had a mandatory first thing meeting, so I walked right in, going to a training. It was more than a meeting, it was a training. So I go, I make it through the training, and then right after the training, there was a meeting with the director, executive director of the agency. He had me looking at contracts and making decisions about people's work and what we were going to do with the contract. Um, it started overwhelming me. What I've noticed is my brain has been going a little bit slower, and my emotions have been a little bit sharper. So I can get angry easier, and I can weep or cry easier. My brain has decided to come back and start working. That first week, it wasn't working at all, but not what I found enough that I'm able to multitask, compartmentalize like I do on my job. On my job, I compartmentalize being the supervisor, being a counselor, being a instructor. Well, I found myself after the meeting with the executive director, I had to meet with the admin office, talking about billing cycles and a lot, real fast. So I made it down to my office, and it wasn't there too long before one of the team members came in and needed me to talk to contract monitors, worried about how things would be with me returning, and my supervisor, the director, um, had made some choices that they were trying to play against. Anyway, all overwhelming. I ended up feeling like I needed an emotional break, so I went outside and I was just leaning on the bike rack and smoking. And I found myself smoking and crying, which told me, Deborah, you're doing too much. Um, so I went ahead and wept. Really, while I was out there, it was a beautiful day, and I started thinking of Stacy and you know how she enjoyed beautiful days, and I found myself weeping. But I knew by then that I had taken on too much, that I needed to, in that day for sure, go home, recoup, come back, and start slower. It took another couple hours before I was able to leave the building, as people were coming up to me and having conversations and all that kind of stuff. So I finally leave the office somewhere around 4 or 5 o'clock, which is just about a whole day, and get home. By the time I got to the house, I started feeling pain in my back. I have an old back injury from an accident 30 some years ago. That has been doing pretty well, you know. I, you know, adjusted my schedule in a way that I don't have too much back pain. Well, I came home and I started feeling the pain in my back, so I decided, okay, that was a long, hard day. All I was going to do was come and rest, lay in the bed, watch a few videos, just rest. I ended up falling asleep and didn't wake up until the next day, and my back was hurting so bad I could barely walk. Had a couple things I needed to get up and go out the house to pay some bills and do some things like that. And I'm telling you, the pain was great that people could notice in my face. The bank teller could notice in my face that I was in pain. And when I was talking to her about it, she said it's just stress. You know, the stress of your daughter dying, they're trying to go back to work. It will find the weakest part in your body. When she said it, I believed it. I think she's about right. And I tell you, I am going to get this stress under control because this pain is no joke. So here I sit today. I did yesterday do some things, some exercises, and some of my relaxation tools, and tried to get the pain away. I went to my daughter's house and enjoyed some time with her, and it seemed like my back, the pain was less. In fact, I even fell asleep at her house. She's really mellow energy. And so I thought I was all right. So I drove back home and I was fine, I thought. um, so last night, my daughter Jennifer and her male friend and my ex came to the house and we were visiting. And I did feel the pain started coming back. Yeah, the ex coming to the house, maybe that's the stress. But nevertheless, we had a good visit. Me and my daughter. You know, we talked about Stacy. Her and Stacy actually, she calls them twins. They would catch each other in age for a few days a year. They would both be the same age. And so she called them twins. And so, you know, we talked about her sister and all that kind of stuff. And I felt like it was a good video, a good visit. But I did notice that my back was really hurting. So I came up here and I did try to craft a little bit. There's so many things I want to work and do, but I sat at my craft desk and I guess I was there an hour and a half to 2 hours crafting. And when I got up, my back was just gone in so much pain. So I got into bed, went to sleep, and today I have a lot of pain. All that to say, Ms.D is in the bed today crafting, in that uh, my body just hurts. And so I'm trying to take it easy and see if I can get some of the stress, some of the swelling out of my back. So there's been a project. Yeah, long story to tell you why I'm in the bed. But yes, I'm in the bed. But one of the projects I've been wanting to do for a while, and forgive the camera angle, I have you up on the night table, and I'm not going to twist and turn and do a whole bunch of fancy anything, um, as I'm just going to sit here, lounge here, and let this back rest. But I been wanting to make a journal full of pockets to take some of the um, small scraps off the desk, some of the signatures that I make. I have a area on my desk where I have all those things, and as you um, know, my craft room, my craft corner is in my bedroom, and I really have a thing about clutter. I know I'm a crafter, but I don't like clutter. And if you know anything about making junk journals, painting, or doing any of the crafts I do, there's lots of little things that go with it. So I'm always busily trying to keep order, organize things, make things look pretty. So there's stacks of paper and signatures from junk journals that are neatly in containers on the desk, but still too much for me. So I thought if I made a journal that was just pockets, full of pockets and places to tuck things, I could get them off the desk and into a journal. So this lovely piece of cardboard, I started painting on it. I'm gonna make that image on the cover. But this lovely piece of cardboard came out of some packaging that I received, and it's just a piece of cardboard that was covering. I think I had bought some new blankets or sheets or something, and they were wrapped around this cardboard. And when I saw it, I said, "That's an instant journal cover. You know, I can make a journal out of that or album." And so I'm going to call this pocket album. That's what I think I'll call it, a pocket album. Using this cardboard for the cover, I'm going to paint it, jazz it up. And then for the inside pages, I am using paper bags as I just want this to be a place where I make a lot of pockets and I tuck things in so that they're out the way, not on the desk. So what I've been doing is cutting up paper bags because this is big. I need some big pages. So I've been just taking paper bags and cutting them to the size of the journal. And these will be the pages. I'll sew them in as a signature. And these will be the pages inside the um, album. And so I'll paint and color the pages um, for background. And I'm just going to build pockets all along so I can put the little ephemera, little scraps that are left, and signatures. Have one big pocket so I can tuck signatures of books that I'm working on in. So that's what I'm putting in the bed, and it's something I wanted to get recorded, so I said I'll just pop in and let you guys see the beginning process, and as I get further out, show you more and more. So basically, to get the pages for the inside, I'm just taking regular grocery bags, splitting them open down the seams, and opening the pages all the way up so I get that one big page. And that's how I'm getting the pages for the middle. And then I'm going to sew them all into a signature and then bind them into that album. I think I'll put the pockets on them before I sew them in. Make all kinds of pockets to hold things. And then sew it into that cover. So that's what I'm doing here as we are in the 4th week of Ms.D doing grief and loss. Had a little setback, so I didn't return to work um, the rest of this week. Um, I do know I'm going to wait until I'm back more to myself and able to handle the stress of my job. My job has a lot of different components to it, and it is a quite stressful job. And just now, it's not time for me to be handling other people's stress when I'm managing my own. So after I get the page cut open, nice and long, I've been simply pulling it in half down that big wide part of a bag, and I've been putting it in the album right here is where I'm going to use for the binding area to get the size of the page that I want. So I put that part in there, open it across the cover, and then I'm marking that little binding area, and then I cut the page to the rest. I know that's off camera, but like I said, I'm into big crafting today. So I got that in the center, I'm marking it, then I'm just folding the excess of the bag over the top so I can know where to cut, get my page size. I'm scoring with my fingers down that seam. I saw this idea for the pocket journal from a fellow YouTuber here, Gail Acosta. I say her last name wrong, but she's a senior crafter here on YouTube. She does a lot of junk journal making and ephemera and all that. Really enjoy her. And so she has a little pocketbook that she keeps her little small ephemera in. And it's such a good idea. So now I have the page folded over the album. I know this is excess that I can cut off and trim up right here. And that's what I'm going to do. So that's like, let's see, I got 1, 2, 3. That'll be my fourth page. And so if I have 4 pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 pages will give me front and back, will give me 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So about 14 pages. How did that work out? Then I got that many pages, but that should be a plenty for making the pocket and having a place to put all that ephemera away. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one down a little bit. But before I do, when I cut the pages down, I cut the bottom of the bag gets cut off. And so I said, oh, that's a little mini junk journal right there in the making, just taking the bottom of the bags and folding them. So this is the bottom of the bag. And if you fold it in half, and I try to always make a little binding area in my fold. And it's good from paper. You know, paper bags is made out of good paper pulp. It almost goes in my cardboardage. So it makes strong pages. And I just kind of fold everything together in there. Try to even everything up. And voila, you have an almost instant journal right there just from the scraps. And so I am going to sew that down and decorate this little journal that came out of the scraps. So that's out of the paper bags, that's 2 projects. We have the pages for our album, our little mini journals. You can see how I decorate that. Since I'm in the bed, stuck in the bed, I'll probably decorate these pages from here. And then when I cut the excess off the bags to get the pages all the same, I get these strips. And you know, Ms.D, I hate to throw anything away. You know, I'm a junk journalist, so we don't throw anything away. I thought I could make some nice belly bands on these strips of paper. Some paper uh, belly bands or some cloth fabric belly bands. Um, I can make and put on these pages. I can sew them on, so I'm going to save those for that. And that would have me using all of the bag, that there's no scraps or anything left. to toss. So that's a win. When you're not creating scraps in the junk journal world, that's a win. I'm going to line this page back up, make sure I have it the right size. And I'm going to just trim the pages. So I'm just doing a rough trim right now as I sew everything down. I can take the paper cutter and make sure I cut all the edges nice and neat and all that. Consistent size. They're doing a great job. Turn the camera on, then I feel like oh, that's fine. So just do the other side. So I'm going to finish working on the cover, finish painting the girl that I have on the front, and see whatever other decorations I'm going to put on the cover. I can do that from the bed. I've been wanting to do this for a while, getting kind of excited as I see it starting to come to life. And since I'm not working at the craft desk, I'm just doing as little measuring and all that is possible. So I'm just lining the book up to the edge, the paper up to the edge of the book, get my mark lines, and go ahead and do a rough cut. Just scoring the page again so it lays kind of even with the rest of them. Those will be my pages for sewing in. I have a couple of the sheets already marked, so I'm going to try to line all the pages up together so they're even. I do believe I had one that was just a little shorter than the rest. I'm going to put it in the inside. Will be my journal. Or pocketbook, I could call it. I'm going to make a lot of pockets on these pages so I can tuck things in. This is that one short page. No? There's that one short one. Okay. It's actually this one. I'm going to put this in the inside. center pages. They need to be sewn into a signature and decorated. I'm going to work on the cover a little bit. I'm going to paint. I just want you to see what was going on, and I'll show you as I'm making progress, and you'll definitely see me working with this pocket album, as this is where I'm going to clear off the desk, put some of the stuff that I'm constantly fighting with on the desk inside this little album. Hope you enjoyed that sneak peek at what Ms.D.'s doing as she continues to deal with the grief and loss. These are my pages. I love the thickness this will be, so it should be able to hold the pockets with the ephemera and the signatures that I'm going to put in here. So you'll be seeing this again. For now, Ms.D. saying so long. See you later. We got this.